Good morning. My name is Keith Griffin. I'm managing editor of American Business Media and Banking New England. We're here today at BankWorld with John Rodgers. He's going to be doing a session for us in a little bit. John is the Director of Advisory Services for Sage Data Security. Welcome, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about Sage Data Security. What's its focus when it comes to financial institutions?
Well, first thing I have to do really is announce that in 2018 we were purchased by a big company called Tyler Technologies.
Sure, okay.
So we're now officially known as Tyler Cybersecurity. We didn't rebrand until the very end of last year.
Okay.
So, but anyway, we are focused
on...
Note to self.
Yeah.
Note to you. We are focused on healthcare and financial sectors primarily. We have been with banks since everybody got an ISO hat thrown on their head in 2002, which is when our company started, and that was our initiation. We were a training company and doing these various regulatory trainings for all these new information security officers who really, didn't have any training or experience. They just got a new role assigned to them, and we were teaching them how to do that role, and pretty much 100% of them would approach us after our trainings and say, "Do you guys do these things, these services?" And we said, "Of course, yes we do." And that really, sent us off. Yep. So we focused on them since. And now our new opportunity is, strangely enough, Tyler's a huge public sector service provider. So we'll be doing a lot more work there, but we're still going to remain focused mainly on financial services. Yeah.
All right, your talk today is creating cybersecurity culture, managing the human factors of risk.
Yes.
So I know one of the things you're going to talk about is IT departments don't own security.
That's right.
So it's something along the lines like the whole bank really needs to own security?
It is. It's I think it's been upside down for a long time because the natural place to put it seemed to be where the data lives and where the data is processed. But actually the business owns the data. The business is liable and responsible and accountable for the uses of the data, for the business results of all those IT systems. And so really we like to put it in a different order. People, process, then technology. If you have good people, you bring them in and they understand your focus is on the strategic mission but securely executing that mission. Then they are well trained, and then you have excellent process for them to participate in their work, and then good technology also. Obviously, technology is key. It's just not the first consideration, and IT people are not trained or qualified to understand the business risks associated with financial services. They keep things running, they do a great job, but it really is up to the business to know.
And the title of your talk is Managing the Human Factors of Risk. What are some of the biggest examples of human factors? Anybody in this business has heard the horror stories about clicking the wrong attachment or going on Facebook and giving away your security info without realizing it.
So many things. Well, the human factors include clicking a link because I don't really need to be a genius hacker to compromise a financial institution. Generally speaking, I'm going to use either a customer.
Okay.
Right? That's the number one way. Compromise a customer. Compromise a POS system in some mom and pop store, and use that to steal money through the accounts of whoever's doing business there. Steal all the card data that gets swiped, steal all the information. But also inside the organization, I can just go direct to users and social engineer them. Most of the biggest breaches in our history started first with a person compromising a person.
Okay.
And then once that is done, hackers are very methodical. They start in a certain way. They go through a process of reconnaissance, research, and attack, and they're doing exhaustive amounts of research. They call in, they have some familiarity, they get through your authentication procedures with a phone call or with a phishing email, and then they've circumvented all your perimeter protection, and they're in. So, yeah. And their number one goal, is to cut you off from your customer.
Okay.
That's the first goal, because then, change the phone number on record, change the email address on file, and then all the communication is going to go to them.
It's yeah.
So that's a common
gone.
method. Yes.
One of the things your talk description talks about is a bank needs to have a culture that supports security. What are some examples where a bank is not supporting security, and what can they do to kind of counteract that lack of support?
I think it starts right up at the front door. So as soon as someone applies for a job, they're looking at your job description. Does your job description include security duties, security responsibilities, security accountabilities? Does your organization do background checks, financial checks? Is the training provided instructor-led or person-to-person for what is acceptable in the use of the technology and data in your organization? How fast after the hire does that happen?
Okay.
These are all tone-setting mechanisms, but as the culture is experienced by an individual, it goes all the way through. It's pervasive. Are the policies well written, recognizable, well disseminated? Do they apply to the person in a real way? Can that person read the policy and recognize their role?
Sure.
Do they have controls that are baked in, interwoven into the business practice of a daily job? Or is it more of a bolt-on, painful, and ugly experience, which for a lot of people it is, and I think a lot of organizations, that's how it feels. Security was this afterthought. It's a gateway that I hate. I don't like it. It's a burden. And that just means you really haven't taken the time to weave it into the daily practice of the organization.
Good. You've given us a lot to think about. I know you have a talk to get off and conduct. Thank you again, John Rodgers, for joining us today, and
thanks so much for having me.
Good. Thank you.
Have a great show.